It's 2023 and people still do not know how to use their IR spot effectively, not just for injured players on your team, but it is used as a stash for high upside players who are on IR that you can pick up and just throw in there for free on the cheap, not really hurting your depth chart. And that is a strategy everybody should be implementing in fantasy football. But when we look at the numbers on some of these players who are on IR, who have a lot of upside that could hit, who are a stash play in fantasy, and you got an IR spot to put them there and still have a full roster of players to use for your lineup, that is something you need to explore and you need to be using often. And we're seeing that right now with Keaton Mitchell, running back of the Baltimore Ravens. His upside is immense. He is a lottery ticket that if he goes off, that could be a nuclear option for your fantasy team. He's left on waivers in a lot of leagues, and I know a lot of these teams and a lot of these leagues have IR spots where you can put him there, have him stashed, and really use him for fantasy in the near future. So again, we're going to go over the data on him to see whether or not you need him for fantasy football. But what you need to do is click that subscribe button right now. Give it a tap with the finger on your phone. Click it with your mouse on your computer, whatever you got to do, because we're doing deep dives on these waiver wire players every day. We talk a lot of strategy. We talk about the matchups. We help you set the lineups. We help you win those trades. We talk about 100 players a week, maybe more. We talk about more players on this channel than any other fantasy channel out there. Put out more content than any channel. You need to hit that subscribe button. Stop missing out. But let's dig in here. Keaton Mitchell, again, I think this is the third or fourth video. But like last year, we had to hammer home those players on IR with upside because people do not use their IR spot. And I know there's leagues without it, but when you look at the roster rate, your jaw's going to drop here because it's an easy, quick switch. You got them on your team, and it's an easy move to make. Injury report right now. Look at this. Keaton Mitchell is practicing at full. He's on IR right now. He's practicing. This 21-day window opened up last week. So we got about 14 days, a little less than that, before he can be on the 53. He has to go there. He has to go there. He has to be a part of this offense. He's going to be seeing some opportunities sooner than later. And this is a prospect here that went through the draft, got undrafted, made the 53, something you don't see every day. Looking at him, 5'8", 191 pounds, no production yet because he's been on IR this whole time. And that's making a lot of people leery because they don't see the numbers there. They don't see any stats. They don't see him drafted. But there's a lot to chew on here with Keaton Mitchell. We're going to go over that today, so stay tuned. But he's not activated yet. He's not ready, but you see that IR thing right there on the top right-hand corner? You see that? That means in your fantasy leagues, he can go in an IR spot. You drop a player, pick him up, put him on IR, pick that player back up. That player can be your kicker, and you just pick up another kicker. That could be your second tight end. Just pick up another tight end. You don't need two tight ends. Or your second quarterback if it's one QB. Something like that. Easy move to make. Looking at him on ESPN, he's rostered in 5% of leagues. 5.1 if you really want to be exact. If you want to be a Karen about it. On injured reserve there as well. You got a kicker, make the move. You got an extra tight end, make the move. You got an extra quarterback, make the move. If you don't like what's on the back end of your roster, make the move. Pick up another jabroni. Drop the jabroni, pick up Keaton Mitchell. He could be a jabroni after all this. But again, from a strategy standpoint, once I show you these numbers, it's going to click with you with what you're going to want to do. Looking at the Ravens offense here, especially the running backs, look at this. It's not sexy. Gus Edwards, 4.3 yards per carry, 241 yards. Again, he's getting a good bow of the workload, but the upside's not there. It's not grandiose. It's okay for the team. They got a winning record. They're doing okay, but it's not what they really want. They want somebody that can really hammer it home for them, give them some upside, score on any given play. They need some juice. They got that with Justice Hill. He's back up to 4 yards per carry. Prior to that, it was in the 3s. But still, this running back depth chart needs some juice. They were going into the season with J.K. Dobbins. That's not a thing anymore. He's on IR. Now they have to run with something. Melvin Gordon's there as a stopgap until Keaton Mitchell comes back. He's going to be released back into the wild. And it's going to be Edwards, Hill, and Mitchell going forward. And who's going to pop? Who's going to pop? Because Edwards not popping. Hill can pop a little bit, but it's not grandiose. It's not a league winner. It's not going to get the Ravens over the top. We've been here. We've had this dance and pony show for quite a bit. It's in mud right now. It's sticking there. We're in quicksand right now with this running game. The Ravens know that. They're hoping to get something back with Keaton Mitchell. They're excited to see what they're going to get out of this. They're excited. You look at this and you try to argue against that. You're going to say this backfield's holding it down with them barely over 4 yards per carry. You got Lamar Jackson doing the dirty work here. They want something extra. Looking at the games here, look at the high rushing yardage in each game here. It's not good. It's not good. That's a good indicator. Edwards, 48 in back-to-back games. 48 yards in back-to-back games. I get it, game scripts, defenses, all that stuff. But still, you want the results. You want to get there. You want that opportunity. You're coming off a loss as well. Jackson with 101 yards leading the team in rushing. The running backs didn't do good in that one either. They didn't do too great either. The running backs are not popping off. They're not giving you top-tier upside here. It's very geriatric right now, and they need something different. They want something different. That means Keaton Mitchell's going to get some opportunity. You're going to look at this running back and say, hey, he fell a draft. He didn't even get drafted. Why are we talking about him? He didn't get drafted. He's 5'8", listed at 179 here, but he's a bit heavier now. He didn't get drafted. Why are we talking about UDFA? We're talking about a UDFA over time, over the summer, training camp, mini camp, climbed the depth chart, worked his way up, looked good, earned a spot on the 53-man roster, got signed to a 3-year deal, got good money because of that, got more money than Sean Tucker even, and is a guy that the Ravens looked at instantly and said, hey, this guy can make an impact. He's giving us something different. He's looking good. Then we got the preseason. He looked best out of all those jabroni running backs that we were just talking about. He looked great. He had some long runs, and you're going to be like, well, that's against jabroni players in the back half of games. Still, he has a dynamic that not many other players have. In this league, not just the Ravens, 4.37 speed, 88th percentile burst score, and he can get it done. The Ravens have already mentioned this. They said it through the transactions. They've mentioned that they like him. They said it with the contract. They said it in multiple different ways. He's going to be on the 53-man roster. Many UDFAs who went through an injury this early in their career, out, cut, gone, off the team. Practice squad if they're lucky. He's going to be on the 53. They're looking forward for him to get back. They're going to use him. They're going to experiment with him. We're going to see him start off slow. He's going to start off slow. They're going to have a ramp-up time. They're going to have to figure him out. They're going to have to figure out what they want to do with this team going forward with this new running back implemented. But he is going to start getting touches, and you're going to see that 4.37 speed be a difference maker, especially if he sees the open field. And once they get a taste of that, they're not going to stop with it. They're just not. So if he can take his opportunity and run with it, if he starts hitting hard with those touches, we got a player that could go off. We got a player on the back half of the season. I'm not even saying soon. Maybe back half of the season. Could be a league winner, and he could be stashed for free on your fantasy team. Look at the production from college. G5 school, East Carolina. He rushed for 1,400 yards last year, 1,100 yards a year prior. Double-digit touchdowns last year as well, 9 the year before that. He's also used in the passing game. 27 balls caught last year, 22 balls caught in 2021. Then when we look at the advanced metrics, yards after contact per attempt, 3.29 on his career, 3.60 last year, 3.26 a year before that. Solid. Created missed tackles. Of course, he's gone. He's ghost if he sees daylight, especially at the G5 level. Going to see that at the NFL level. If he gets daylight, he gets his opportunity. If he showcases what he can do, if he can tap into his upside. There's a chance that he doesn't. That's part of the game. He's a lottery ticket. He's got upside. But still, you look at this running back depth chart. You can't tell me he's not going to get a chance somewhere down the line when you look at this. The schedule is up and down with this team. Not a fast-paced team, but a team that does want to use the run game. They do want to run the ball. They want to run it with their quarterback. They want an option with the running backs where they got a two-headed monster with their running backs and their quarterback, Lamar Jackson taking off with it, or it could be the running back. They don't have that right now. They don't have it. They got a little bit of pop with Justice Hill, but if Keaton Mitchell hits, you got a veer that you got to deal with. You got to make business decisions because you got 4.3 speed, you got Lamar Jackson speed. That's going to break you up. That's going to break you up on defense. You got to make some choices. Lamar Jackson's not afraid to throw the deep ball to stretch it out. He can run with it. If you get it back here with 4.3 speed, that could be a game changer for this offense. And for a lot of these matchups, that looks like it could be dictated to slower pace. That could be a huge deal for this team. You need him because you need a stash. Not just a stash, but an injured reserve stash. If you have an injured reserve spot on your team, he's on waivers. You got a kicker, extra tight end, extra quarterback, extraterrestrial. You need to make this move. You need to make this move because it's free. It's an easy one to make. It's just a quick swap. It's too easy to do. And so what if it doesn't hit? It busts on you. You lost nothing. You lost nothing. There's no sunk cost. If you don't have the spot, then I can understand there. You don't have IR. You don't have space. You've been hitting on waivers. You got some guys to play with. You know what? You're probably going to have another week to make this choice. You're probably going to have another week. You might. Unless he gets reinstated today, tomorrow, Sunday, you're probably going to have another week. Time is ticking, though. You're going to have to make a stance on this. You're going to have to figure this out. I get it if you don't have space because that just makes sense. That's just the common sense thing, though. But if you have an IR spot open, you have a jabroni, you have an extra kicker, tight end, quarterback, whatever, make the move, make the swap, just hoard the players, see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Catch you on the next video.